Echoes of Betrayal, Tragedy of Forbidden Love in Ancient Sparta, Leonidas and Elara's heart-wrenching tale. In the heart of ancient Sparta, a realm where the clash of swords and the echoes of battle cries reverberated through the very stones of the city, there stood a figure both feared and revered, the legendary warrior Leonidas. His presence alone, marked by a chiseled physique and a spirit unbroken, was enough to silence the most tumultuous of war drums and garner him the title of a hero among his kin. Within the city's formidable walls, the rhythmic cadence of training echoed ceaselessly, a perpetual reminder of Sparta's indomitable spirit and the unyielding discipline instilled in its warriors. Yet, beneath the stoic exterior of Leonidas, there existed a profound longing, a desire that transcended the martial drills and the relentless pursuit of battlefield glory. One fateful day, as the sun cast its golden hues over the city, Leonidas found himself atop the sacred Mount Taygetus, a place where Spartans often sought solace and reflection. It was there, amidst the quiet whispers of the wind and the panoramic vista of Sparta below, that he felt an unfamiliar yearning. The warrior who had faced countless foes on the battlefield now faced a longing for a connection that surpassed the camaraderie of fellow soldiers. As Leonidas descended from the mount, a chance encounter awaited him in the bustling marketplace. His piercing gaze met the enchanting eyes of Elara, a captivating slave girl with an aura of resilience that belied her station. In that moment, an invisible thread wove itself between their souls, setting in motion a tale that would test the very foundations of Spartan tradition. Their initial exchanges were guarded, laden with the unspoken rules of a society that deemed such connections forbidden. Yet the more Leonidas and Elara conversed, the more the invisible thread tightened, defying the societal norms that sought to keep them apart. As the bond between the warrior and the slave girl deepened, the rigid structure of Spartan society trembled. Leonidas found himself torn between the expectations of his people and the undeniable truth that love, once ignited, could not be extinguished. The warrior, who had faced adversaries without flinching, now grappled with an adversary more formidable than any he had encountered on the battlefield: the clash between duty and the desires of his heart. As the tale of the unyielding Spartan and the slave girl unfolded, Sparta itself became a silent witness to a love that defied the boundaries of a warrior's code. In the shadows of Mount Taygetus, where destiny and desire converged, Leonidas and Elara stood at the precipice of a story that would be whispered through the annals of time. Chapter 2: Forbidden Love. One fateful day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of crimson and gold upon the city's outskirts, Leonidas found himself on patrol. It was on this routine duty that he did encounter Elara, a captivating slave girl whose eyes held a universe of secrets, as if each glance told a tale of untold mysteries.
Leonidas? A Spartan of such stature, gracing the presence of a lowly slave? What madness is this?
Elara's voice trembled with a mixture of fear and curiosity as she dared to address the revered warrior with a directness uncommon between Spartans and slaves. In your eyes, I see a world untouched by the shackles of this city. What is your name, pretty one? Leonidas replied, his piercing gaze meeting hers, acknowledging a truth that transcended the rigid hierarchy of Spartan society.
I am Elara, daughter of Pamphilis.
As Elara's lips moved, each word spun struck chords of music notes in the already melting heart of the Spartan. With that simple exchange, the clandestine chapters of their story began to unfurl. Their meetings, like a clandestine dance choreographed by destiny, unfolded in the hidden alcoves and moonlit corners of Sparta. Each stolen moment became a step in a forbidden waltz, where the cadence of their hearts mirrored the rhythm of a love that defied societal norms. As the moon cast its silvery glows after and over Sparta, Leonidas and Elara found solace in the shadows where their love blossomed like the rarest of flowers. Amidst widespread promises and stolen kisses, They forged a connection that transcended the boundaries set by the city they called home. Dialogue became the conduct and conduit of the unspoken emotions, the words exchanged beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, weaving a narrative that resonated with the intensity of their forbidden love.
Leonidas, the world may see us as star-crossed, but in the quiet of the night our hearts beat as one.
Elara would declare, her voice carrying the weight of a love that defied the constraint of their reality. And if defying the world is the price we must pay, then so be it. For in your eyes I've found a world worth fighting for. Leonidas would respond, his words echoing the sentiment of a warrior whose battles extended beyond the battlefield. In the hushed conversations beneath the olive trees and the stolen glances amidst the city's shadows, Leonidas and Elara sculpted a tale that unfolded with the richness of forbidden desires, each chapter a testament to a love that dared to challenge the very foundations of Spartan tradition. Chapter 3: Whispers of Betrayal. As whispers of Leonidas and Elara's forbidden love spread like wildfire through the stone-laden streets of Sparta, a sinister undercurrent began to weave its way into the very fabrics of their tale. Unbeknownst to the violent warrior, Elara found herself ensnared in a web of manipulation, a pawn in a dark game orchestrated by forces seeking to destroy the very essence of Leonidas' honor. After one stolen moment with Leonidas, Elara returned to her daily chores only to be confronted by Augustus, a studied elderly commoner with a clear concern for the fate of Elara and the heroic warrior.
I hear words in the streets that call for blood, and yours is bled already in conspiring minds.
Augustus sneered, his words breathing fear and doubt into the ears of the trembling slave girl. Elara, as though refuting his words, walked away swiftly. In the quietude of their clandestine meetings, as Leonidas and Elara exchanged vows of love beneath the sprawling branches of ancient olive trees, the shadows lengthened, mirroring the depths of the impending betrayal that lingered in the corners of their stolen moments. The night whispered secrets that Leonidas failed to discern, the gentle rustle of leaves masking the deceit that unfolded in the hidden corridors of power. Elara, torn between love and manipulation, stood at the epicenter of a storm that threatened to engulf the very foundation of their connection. Unknown to the unsuspecting hero, a dialogue unfolded in the shadows, a conversation among conspirators whose sinister laughter reverberated through the night, laying the groundwork for the impending tragedy.
Leonidas is blinded by love. The time is ripe to unveil the truth, to shatter the illusion of his invincibility.
A shadow figurehead declared, the words dripping with malice. And as Leonidas bared his soul to Elara beneath the moonlit sky, fate orchestrated a symphony of betrayal that would echo through the annals of Spartan history. The dialogue of deception had begun, and the repercussions would be felt in every beat of a heart entwined in the threads of love and treachery. Chapter 4: The Deceptive Allure. As Elara found herself ensnared in the intricate web of conspiracies, the weight of duty and the allure of promised freedom became an unbearable burden on her delicate shoulders. Torn between the love that blossomed in the shadow of Spartan walls and the duty dictated by societal norms, she became an unwitting instrument in the impending tragedy that loomed over their once idyllic love story.
Leonidas, we cannot defy the gods and society. There's a way for us to be free, to be together without fear.
Elara pleaded, her voice carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken truths. Her eyes, once the windows to a universe of secrets, now betrayed a hidden sorrow, a sorrow entangled with the complex dance of love, duty, and the machinations of those who sought to manipulate their fate. Leonidas, oblivious to the clandestine forces at play, gazed into Elara's eyes, searching for solace and reassurance. Little did he know that their love, which once seemed unassailable, now stood at the crossroads of destiny, where the threads of their intertwined lives tightened, weaving a tapestry of deceit and betrayal. In the quiet moments between whispered confessions and stolen kisses, the air itself seemed to thicken with the impending storm. The olive trees, witnesses to countless love stories and tragedies, swayed mournfully, their leaves rustling in a melancholic harmony. As the conspirators' plan unfolded, Elara grappled with the conflict within her soul. The promises of freedom whispered swiftly in her ears, but the echoes of Leonidas' unwavering love reverberated in her heart. Caught in the crossfire of love and duty, she teetered on the precipice of a decision that would alter the course of Spartan history. The dialogue between Elara and the shadowy figures intensified, their voices merging with the symphony of the night.
She is the key to Leonidas' fall. Manipulate her, and the mighty Spartan will crumble.
The conspirators whispered, their sinister laughter interwoven with the howling winds. The tapestry of destiny, once vibrant with the hues of love, now bore the ominous shades of betrayal. As the threads tightened further, Leonidas and Elara stood on the brink of an irreversible tragedy, their fates interwound with the cruel whims of destiny. Chapter 5: A Lover's Deceit. In the heart of Sparta, a fateful encounter unfolded as Elara, torn between love and the sinister promises of freedom by conspirators, orchestrated a carefully woven trap. The moon, a silent witness to their clandestine love, cast its silvery glow on the cobblestone streets as a stage was set for the impending tragedy that would shake the foundations of Spartan honor.
Leonidas, they know about us. They threaten to expose our love. I fear for your life, my love.
Elara's voice, once a melody that resonated with genuine affection, now echoed with the orchestrated notes of deception, her words laced with the bitter taste of betrayal, pretending to have concern but bordered by the pain of freedom, were the prelude to a tragic symphony that would reverberate through the annals of Spartan history or spawn through her lies. Leonidas, unsuspecting and trusting, looked into Elara's eyes, seeking solace in the face of the perceived threat. Little did he know that the warmth he once found in her gaze had been replaced by the cold calculation of a pawn manipulated by unseen hands. As the trap sprung, Leonidas found himself surrounded by fellow Spartans, comrades who had fought side by side with him on the battlefield. Their voices, once marked by camaraderie, now bore expressions of disbelief and disappointment. The air cackled and crackled with tensions, and the rhythmic cadence of training transformed into an accusatory drumbeat. "Leonidas, is this true?" asked one Spartan, his voice mixture of incredulity and betrayal. The once unquestionable hero of Sparta now stood in the harsh spotlight of scrutiny, his love exposed and weaponized against him. Elara, playing her part in the cruel charade, feigned anguish, her eyes mirroring the distress she wanted them to believe.
I never wanted harm to befall him. It was our secret, but they forced my hand,
she whispered to the sympathetic ears of the onlookers, sealing Leonidas' fates with each carefully chosen words. The dialogue between Leonidas and his accusers intensified, the air thick with accusations and disbelief. "You betrayed Sparta, Leonidas," one voice accused, while another spoke on the honor that lay shattered at the warrior's feet. In the midst of the unfolding tragedy, Leonidas, still grappling with the sudden turn of events, attempted to defend the love that had now become a weapon aimed at his very heart. The once indomitable warrior, now shackled by the chains of deceit, stood at the precipice of his downfall, the echoes of Elara's frayed distress haunting the Spartan night. Chapter 6. The Warrior's Fall.
Elara, what treachery is this? I thought our love was pure.
Leonidas' voice, once a symbol of unwavering strength, now echoed through the city square as accusations mounted. The faces of his fellow Spartans, once comrades in arms, contorted with a mix of disbelief and disappointment, mirroring the collective sentiment that hung heavily in the air. Refusing to let his honor be tarnished, Leonidas stood defiant, his posture unwavering even in the face of the storm brewing around him. The moon, casting its silvery glow, seemed to bear witness to a tragedy unfolding beneath its watchful gaze.
My fellow Spartans, judge me as you will, but know this: love, though it may lead to our downfall, is the truest test of our humanity.
Leonidas' words rang out, challenging the rigid conventions of Spartan society. In that moment, the city square transformed into an arena where not only the fate of one warrior, but the very essence of Spartan principles would be decided. A murmur swept through the crowd, dissent and contemplation mingling in the night air. Some Spartans, torn between loyalty to their comrade and allegiance to their code of honor, exchanged their uncertain glances. The clash between tradition and the undeniable force of love painted the city square in shades of conflict. One Spartan, bold and resolute, stepped forward.
Leonidas, our loyalty is to Sparta. Love, if it clouds judgment, becomes a weapon against the very foundation of our existence,
he declared, voicing the concerns that lingered in the hearts of many. Yet, amidst the rising tension, a dissenting voice emerged.
But is it not our humanity that sets us apart from mere soldiers? Leonidas speaks of a truth that transcends the rigid boundaries we've imposed upon ourselves,
argued another, prompting a ripple of contemplation among the gathered Spartans. As the dialogue unfolded, the city square became an arena, not just for accusations, but for a profound exploration of what it meant to be Spartan. Leonidas, standing resolute, became a symbol not only of forbidden love, but of the inexorable quest for humanity within the confines of a society built on discipline and duty. The outcome remained uncertain, hanging in the balance like the sword of Damocles. The city square, once a symbol of Spartan strength, now bore witness to a battle of ideals, where the clash of swords paled in comparison to the clash of convictions. Chapter 7. The Final Stand. The court convened, a solemn assembly of Spartan elders passing judgment on the once untouchable Leonidas. The atmosphere within the stone walls was laden with tension and unspoken understanding that the verdict would not only seal the fate of one warrior, but reverberate through the annals of Spartan history. Yet, in the face of adversity, the warrior stood tall, his chiseled form a testament to the indomitable spirit that had earned him renown on countless battlefields. His unwavering gaze was fixed on Elara, a silent reassurance amidst the storm of judgment and betrayal. The proceedings commenced with a rhythmic clicking of chains as the accused was led in the tribunal. Leonidas, clad in the armor that had witnessed both victories and the beginning tragedy of forbidden love, bore the weight of the court's scrutiny with stoic resolve. The head elder, a venerable figure whose eyes betrayed the burden of passing judgment on a comrade, addressed the assembly.
Leonidas, you stand accused of defying the sacred laws that bind us as Spartans. What say you in your defense?
With a measured breath, Leonidas stepped forward, acknowledging the gravity of the charges.
For love, I would willingly face the harshest of fates.
His proclamation, delivered with a resonance that cut through the stoic silence, echoed off the stone walls, defying the rigidity of Spartan tradition. Elara, positioned at a distance, observed the proceedings with a heart heavy with conflict. The love that had once bloomed in the shadows of Sparta now faced the merciless scrutiny of those who held the power to shape destinies. A murmuring arose among the elders, their faces etched with a mix of stern determination and contemplation. The clash of duty and the undeniable force of Leonidas' love created a palpable tension, a rift in the very fabric of Spartan principles. One elder, a voice of unyielding tradition, spoke first.
Leonidas, your love, though passionate, threatens the cohesion of our society. Such emotions unchecked can sow discord among our ranks.
Another elder, perhaps moved by a flicker of empathy, countered,
But is not love a testament to our shared humanity? Leonidas challenges us to see beyond the rigid roles we've assigned ourselves.
The deliberation unfolded, a dialectic between tradition and the profound impact of love on the human soul. Leonidas, standing resolute, became a symbol not only of defiance but of a truth that transcended the structures and strictures of Spartan society. As the tribunal's verdict hung in the balance, the stone halls absorbed the weight of an unfolding destiny, where the clash of swords was replaced by the clash of ideals. Chapter 8: The Unraveling Threads. As the truth unfolded in the hallowed halls of Sparta, the repercussions rippled through the city like an unrelenting tempest. Elara, burdened by the weight of her unwitting betrayal, found solace in the shadows, a place where the haunting consequences of her actions echoed relentlessly. Leonidas, still clad in the armor of a fallen hero, sought answers in the aftermath of the tribunal. His footsteps echoed through the city's silent streets, a solitary figure navigating the labyrinth of emotions that now enveloped Sparta. In the dim light of a flickering torch, Leonidas and Elara crossed paths once again. Her eyes, once holding a universe of secrets, were now windows to a tormented soul. The air crackled with unspoken words as they stood on the precipice of a chasm created by love, duty, and the cruel machinations of fate.
Elara,
Leonidas spoke, his voice a low rumble that carried the weight of both accusation and understanding.
Did you know of the trap they set for me?
Elara, unable to meet his gaze, whispered,
I was a pawn, Leonidas. They preyed on my desire for freedom, and in my weakness, I became an unwitting instrument in their game.
A heavy silence settled between them, a silence pregnant with the shattered dreams of a love that dared to defy the norms, the flickering torch that cast elongated shadows on the stone walls mirroring the fractured facade of Sparta itself.
Leonidas?
Elara's voice trembled, a melody of remorse and yearning.
I never wished for your harm. My heart aches for the role I played in this tragedy.
As Leonidas absorbed her words, conflicting emotions played on his rugged features. In that moment, Sparta was standing still, caught between the echoes of a love that once bloomed and the stark reality of betrayal. Leonidas was castigated, stripped of his armor and honor, for the love he once shared with the slave girl Elara. The night wore on, shadows lengthened as Leonidas and Elara faced the irrevocable consequences of a love entangled in the threads of fate. In the heart of Sparta, where once only the clash of swords resonated, now echoed the lament of a love lost to the relentless march of time. In the tapestry of time, the threads of love and betrayal weave a complex pattern, creating echoes that reverberate through generations. The tale of Leonidas and Elara remains eternally imprinted, a poignant reminder that even in the hallowed halls of heroes, the human heart can be its own undoing.